Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is June 21st, 2024. We're learning all about life under the sea today, starting in San Diego, California. We are getting up close and personal with a walrus. Learn more about their lifespan, what they typically eat, and what makes them unique. And in Romania, this baby dolphin was recently born at the Constanța Dolphinarium. It's the first time in more than 50 years. Taking time to connect with our bodies, it's not something most humans do, and it's even more important for New Earth children. Demonstrating by example is a great way to show them how it's done. The European Union wants to scan your private messages, all in the name of reducing child exploitation, prompting many to question their true purpose. And Australia is struggling with increasing fires due to discarded lithium batteries, which is resulting in more injuries as well.
This is Calen Gipp, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Meeting a walrus can be an incredible experience. UNN Field Messenger Sunny had the opportunity to get up close and personal with one of these majestic marine mammals. She shares this unforgettable encounter with us.
Hey everyone, it's Sunny reporting for United Network News, and I am in San Diego at SeaWorld. And we were just in this exhibit for walruses, and this trainer comes up to us and says, hey, would you guys like to see a walrus up close and personal? And I just wanted to show you our experience. And here he is. Meet Dozier the walrus. He's a male. Dozier was actually born here in 1993, which makes him almost 31 years old. Walrus typically live to be 25 to 30 years old, but this guy is in excellent health.
So he eats about 4 of these buckets a day.
What is it? What are you feeding him?
So we have clam. We have 2 different types of clam in here. So this is the quahog clam, and then we've got a propeller clam. We're really fortunate that it comes deshelled. But in the wild, obviously, they would deshell it themselves. They would chew the shells with their teeth.
In addition to those clams, Dozier is also getting a mixture of squid, sardines, and herring, the fish.
So you guys can see inside his mouth there, he's got teeth.
Oh my God.
And then these are obviously his tusks. You guys want to come up, you can touch his tusks right here.
Yeah.
You go touch his tusks.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. We were able to touch Dozier's whiskers.
It's okay.
Most walrus have between 400 to 700 whiskers right around their nose. They kind of feel like dried spaghetti noodles.
Yeah.
He's currently only 3,400 pounds, but during mating season, he actually gains weight and can reach 4,000 pounds. Dozier can be a little awkward on land, but he's swift and graceful in the water. Isn't that right, Dozier? This is Sunny reporting for United Network News.
Next, we have another enchanting tale from the marine world. For the first time in 50 years, a baby dolphin has been born at the Constanța Dolphinarium in Romania. UNN Field Messenger Monica shares the story of this tiny new arrival.
Hi, I'm UNN Field Messenger Monica reporting from Constanța in Romania. The first baby dolphin was born in the Constanța Dolphinarium, where no dolphin had been born for more than half a century. The great event, unique in the history of the institution, took place on March 8, 2024, on Mother's Day, when a very handsome and very clever baby dolphin came to the new Earth. No one suspected for a moment that the mother was pregnant. The trainers were stunned to see an adorable baby dolphin in the pool the next morning, clinging to its mother and gently surrounded by all the other dolphins. The baby dolphin is now settling into life. Its mother is very protective of it, teaching it how to swim and, most importantly, how to breathe. The whole team is so careful not to interfere with the relationship between mother and cub, and even the other dolphins in the pool keep their distance as to not to disturb the pair, that no one has yet able to tell if it's a boy or a girl. So they've named the baby dolphin Baby for now. I'll be back with an update to tell you what the baby dolphin's name is and what adventures and fun he's been having in the new Earth. Bye!
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our new website is now up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our new email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with the electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN field messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
Children today are born with a deeper connection to their God-given gifts. As parents and caregivers, it's up to us to help them balance these gifts with their human body in its current form. Allison Ellsbury is a former occupational therapist who is here to assist babies and children to anchor their light on earth while deepening their connection to nature and the divine. Allison says the best way to help our children connect with their body is to lead by example. All right, so we're back with Allison. Of course, we're talking about our children, their gifts. And Allison, we've talked about the importance of the body in all of this, right? For our children to be able to connect with their bodies, to be able to express these gifts that they've been given. And we as parents have a job in this, right? To help facilitate this as much as possible. So when we recognize these gifts in our children, how can we help them connect with their bodies, connect with their emotions, so they can show us their gifts and help the planet?
Yeah. I love this. And you alluded to that in your question. I would say the most helpful thing in helping your child really connect with their emotions and make sense of what they're feeling is to actually be a model of that yourself. Because your awareness, your connection with your own body and what you're feeling and sensing helps your child make sense of what they're feeling and sensing. They actually really need to see what a healthy example of emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and attunement and awareness to your own body really looks like.
So can you give us an example? Like what would that look like? Like what could a parent do in order to show them that they're connected themselves?
Yeah, so maybe you're at the sink doing the dishes and you are like, gosh, I really notice that my shoulder's feeling a little bit achy right now. I'm just going to take a few breaths. Oh, yeah, that feels a little bit better. Or maybe your child asks you, hey, mommy, can you play this game with me? And in the moment, your body's actually like, actually, I really need to lay on the couch for a second and just have a moment of quiet. And you can actually say, I'd love to play that game with you. Right now, I'm noticing that my body needs to have a few minutes of rest. But as I lay here with my eyes closed, I'm more than happy to listen to anything else you want to share with me. And then when my body feels complete, let's play that game.
Yep.
So including the body in the conversation, or even if you're driving the car, gosh, right, I'm noticing that my nervous system feels a little bit anxious with all this traffic that we're driving in right now. So I'm just going to do some deep breathing. Would you like to breathe with me? If you become that invitation and that model, then what that also is showing is that kids also then learn to respect what your own boundaries are as a parent and know that your body matters as much as their body does.
Right. Right. I love that idea that you had of, do you want to join in with me and do this with me while I do it? I think that's a beautiful thing because, I'm just thinking about my own family and my own kids. And I know that my kids would have gladly, most times like joined in. And then it becomes, like a little, I don't know, event.
It does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because ultimately what children are actually really craving and going for is more connection. And guess what? Connection happens through the body.
Yeah.
All relating happens through the body. So the more you can be that invitation and invite your children to join you in things, regardless of what their response is, even if they're like, no, I don't want to do that, still follow through and do it. So it could be like, first thing when you get up in the morning, I'm going to go stand outside and feel my bare feet on the earth and say hello to the earth and feel the sun on my face. Would you like to join me? No, I don't really want to right now. Okay, what would you like to do? I'd love for you to still come outside. It could sound something like that, but something where you're modeling that connection to the body. You're modeling that you're aware of something, even if it's in the heated moment of something and a reaction or a trigger that you're having with your child. Now, there may not always be that space in our nervous system to be able to do that, but it could sound something like, I'm noticing that I'm feeling fear about the question you just asked me about, and then fill in the blank. I'm going to take a few moments and breathe through that before I answer you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because this completely goes contrary to what we're taught, right?
Yes.
We're taught to just work it out yourself, deal with your issues, and then come back when you fully have it together.
That's
and
right.
What we're saying is, no, that's not really, that's not really what we're, what the best way to move forward with this. It's that sharing and that experience that you have, because as we know, children are little sponges. They pick up, how much of communication is actually verbal, right? It's about showing and doing.
Yes. And the other beautiful thing about that is when you include your own emotional experience and body sensation in the conversation and connection that you're having with your child, they're not having to take ownership for what they're already feeling and sensing. You're taking responsibility for what's in the relational field, which is huge for children. Huge. Like priceless, because then they're like, okay, mom just identified how she's feeling. That's not mine. I don't have to be responsible for healing that.
Yep.
And they're not looking for you to be perfect. They're looking for you to be present. And part of being present isn't about having it all together. It's about showing the real side of emotions with your children. Like if you lose your top and it blows, you know, that's okay for them to see it. But what's more important is, what's the repair look like? What's the conversation that happens after that?
Right. In Zimbabwe, an electrical engineering graduate is illuminating the lives of local families with a solar-powered lantern he made completely from electronic waste. This lantern offers a sustainable and affordable lighting solution to families in areas where access to electricity is limited or frequently interrupted. A centralized solar charger capable of powering multiple lanterns at once provides light for nighttime studies. Zimbabwe's Ministry of Education is supporting the initiative by expanding their impact by teaching children in rural schools how to build their own lanterns with discarded electronic materials. With 2 schools already using this off-grid solar-powered lighting system, this groundbreaking innovation is already changing lives. Ethnomathematics, a teaching approach originating from Brazil in the 1970s, is gaining popularity in American classrooms. The concept aims to make math more relevant to students by integrating it with their everyday experiences. By incorporating activities like household chores, shopping, or traditional practices such as braiding hair or weaving cloth, ethnomathematics helps students see the practical applications of math in their lives. This approach creates a deeper understanding of mathematical concepts by building on skills students already use at home. Ethnomathematics also strives to break down stereotypes and empower students who have struggled with math as too abstract and not relevant for them. By focusing on students' strengths and cultural backgrounds, it aims to create a learning environment where all students feel valued and capable. Ethnomathematics encourages a deeper grasp of the significance of math in students' lives, setting the stage for higher levels of accomplishment and achievement. Playgrounds are evolving to become inclusive wellness havens for all ages, as shown by new parks in Philadelphia, Memphis, and Tulsa. These thoughtfully designed spaces are redefining what it means to create a neighborhood park, offering benefits for children, teenagers, and adults. Among the exciting features are innovative swings that promote connection and accessibility. The caregiver swing allows parents and children to swing together, promoting bonding and fun. Liberty swings accommodate children and adults in wheelchairs, and tandem swings are for 2 people to swing together at the same time. For adventurous play, the park offers large rope climbing walls and tall slides that develop skills like spatial awareness, balance, hand-eye coordination, and even memory. Studies show swinging, climbing, and engaging in play can reduce cortisol levels, lower anxiety and depression, and enhance social relationships. These new playgrounds are setting a new standard for what it takes to create a park that is truly a second home for the community. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta, in Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the Restoration Plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. New proposals in the European Union aim to scan private communications to combat child exploitation, but critics warn of severe privacy implications. Opponents argue the measures could enable mass surveillance, undermining the confidentiality of encrypted messaging. Concerns are raised about private companies gaining undue power and the potential misuse of backdoor access for widespread monitoring beyond its intended purpose. The latest version of the legislation requires user consent for scanning photos, videos, and URLs, with non-consenting users barred from sharing media. Incidents like the misidentification by Google's AI highlight the potential for innocent individuals to be wrongly accused, raising concerns about the effectiveness and unintended consequences of the proposed legislation. Supporters insist the proposals are vital to curb child exploitation, despite skepticism over their practical enforcement. In the UK, credit card debt is making it harder for people to get mortgages, as high interest rates and living costs put pressure on household finances. Outstanding balances on credit cards rose by 9.9% annually to March of 2024, with nearly half incurring interest. Mortgage brokers report many home loan seekers are struggling with credit card debt, which affects their mortgage affordability. Many clients have high credit card balances and are unaware of the impact on their borrowing ability, with different lenders having varying acceptance criteria. The cost of living crisis and higher mortgage rates are making it difficult for people to pay off their credit card balances. With mortgage interest rates high, the issue is expected to continue until the Bank of England reduces its base rate, currently at 5.25%. Denmark is pushing forward with a new action plan to reduce meat consumption and promote plant-based diets. The plan, supported by the Vegetarian Society of Denmark, aims to educate professionals and introduce appealing plant-based products. Cultural barriers remain, as Denmark is a major pork producer, and a 2019 survey showed the majority of the citizens resistant to reducing meat intake. The Danish government has updated dietary guidelines advocating for lower meat consumption, but the actual intake remains high. The approach aims to engage farmers rather than confront them, avoiding backlash similar to those seen in other European countries. This strategy involves retraining agricultural workers and collaborating with organic farming sectors. Heavy monsoon rains have triggered deadly landslides and floods in Bangladesh and India, killing at least 15 people and displacing millions. In southern Bangladesh, 8 refugees were killed by mudslides, while hundreds were moved from risky areas. The crowded refugee camps, home to more than 1 million people, remain vulnerable. Flash floods in northeastern Bangladesh stranded 1.2 million people, with heavy rains expected to continue. In India's state of Assam, at least 6 people died in floods and landslides, affecting more than 160,000 residents and raising water levels dangerously high. The region has reported more than 30 deaths due to extreme weather since late May. Meanwhile, a severe heat wave in the south has caused additional fatalities and health crisis. Pakistan's finance minister wants to expand the tax base without overburdening current taxpayers. He's aiming for 3.6% economic growth. Presenting his first budget, he claimed inflation has dropped to 12% from more than 40% in 2023, yet ordinary Pakistanis remain unconvinced. Workers criticize the budget for its lack of relief amid rising costs, describing how daily essentials continue to skyrocket. Economists are pointing out heavy taxation burdens, the poor especially, impacting fuel and electricity prices. Nearly 2/3 of collected taxes do not reach the government due to corruption, and the informal economy continues to hinder fiscal stability. Analysts argue higher taxation on a small group while large portions evade taxes is a flawed strategy, risking further economic downturn. Refugees who fled to Indonesia in hopes of reaching Australia are now stuck without the ability to work or resettle. Many have been living in the country for years, relying on support from others. At immigration detention centers, conditions resemble that of a prison. Some detainees are unable to return home due to the ongoing conflicts in their home countries, while others cannot afford onward travel. Refugees living in community housing face uncertainty about their future and limited access to essential services. Nearly 1/3 of refugees in Indonesia are children who have restricted access to education and health services. Indonesia is not a signatory to the UN Refugee Convention and does not allow refugees and asylum seekers to work. An Indian liquor company faces significant loss after authorities announced the impoundment of one of its distilleries, where 59 children were found working illegally. An investigation was launched following the discovery by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. The agency reported 39 boys and 20 girls were employed at the distillery, with some having chemical burns on their hands. The firm attributed the issue to labor contractors failing to perform proper age checks. Some children were transported to the distillery in school buses. As a result, the state government has temporarily suspended the distillery's manufacturing licenses. The company maintains its policies against child labor applied to all operations, including contractors. Ecuador has temporarily suspended a visa waiver agreement with China due to a significant rise in irregular migration. Beginning July 1st, Chinese travelers will need visas to enter Ecuador. The Foreign Ministry's statement revealed a concerning pattern, with nearly half of the Chinese nationals who entered Ecuador in 2023 not exiting through regular channels or within the allowed 90 days. This policy shift will likely impact Chinese citizens planning to use Ecuador as a starting point to move northward through Central America and into the United States. Migration patterns show Chinese nationals are among the top migrants reaching the U.S., with 37,000 arrested at the southern border last year. Chinese officials have condemned human smuggling and are cooperating with other nations to address illegal immigration. The U.S. has announced a new program allowing undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens to apply for permanent residency and eventual citizenship. The plan, set to affect up to 500,000 immigrants, requires them to have lived in the U.S. for 10 years as of June 24th and be married to a U.S. citizen. Additional benefits include a temporary work permit and protection from deportation while their green card applications are processed. This program could also help 50,000 undocumented children whose parents are married to U.S. citizens. With no marriage duration requirement, the policy aims to reunite families separated by immigration laws. However, those reaching the 10-year residency after June 24th do not qualify. The program is expected to open for applications by summer's end. A significant number of farmers in the U.S. are choosing to hold on to their corn stocks despite grain dealers and ethanol plants pushing for purchases at higher prices. While some have sold portions of their stock, many are waiting for better bids amidst a market currently hovering just above 3-year lows. Large volumes of unsold grain could lead to fluctuating prices, especially as the fall harvest approaches. Delaying sales could risk financial loss if the influx of new grain in October and November depresses prices further. Farmers covering their short-term needs are banking on summer weather conditions to drive up prices, but there's no certainty this will occur. Commercial buyers are offering premiums to secure immediate supplies, though they reduce prices once initial demands are met. McDonald's has ended its trial of AI-assisted ordering at select drive-thrus after viral videos showed the technology making some mistakes. Launched in partnership with IBM in 2021, the system was supposed to streamline ordering, but instead resulted in mix-ups like picking up orders from the wrong cars and bizarre combinations like ice cream with ketchup and butter. Despite these issues, McDonald's emphasized the potential of AI and plans to continue exploring voice ordering solutions. This move reflects a trend amongst fast food giants like Chipotle, Wendy's, and Pizza Hut, who are adopting AI technology to enhance efficiency and reduce labor costs. However, the errors have left customers frustrated and questioning the reliability of AI in their dining experience. In Australia, the waste and recycling industry is fighting up to 12,000 fires annually due to discarded lithium-ion batteries, causing increased costs for consumers. Urgent calls have been made for safer battery drop-off points, with industry leaders warning of potential injuries, service disruptions, and higher insurance costs. Currently, the B-Cycle National Recycling Plan doesn't accept all battery types, prompting calls for expansion and interim state-funded collection points. Experts emphasize the dangers of lithium-ion batteries, which can cause toxic explosive fires when damaged. Fire departments report rising battery-related incidents, particularly with e-bikes and e-scooters, leading to a higher injury rate. Consumers are advised to use well-made products and charge batteries safely. A fire at a military ammunition depot in the capital of Chad resulted in 9 fatalities and more than 40 injuries. The incident happened late Tuesday and was followed by a series of explosions that woke residents and sent many fleeing from their homes. The government reported 46 individuals are currently receiving treatment for various injuries. The fire and ensuing explosions caused significant panic, with residents fearing an armed attack. Authorities have since contained the situation and secured the area, urging people to stay away. The cause of the fire is currently unknown and an investigation is underway. Millions of Kenyans suffer from respiratory diseases due to the widespread use of firewood for cooking. Respiratory diseases are now the most common illnesses in Kenya, with 19.6 million cases reported last year, majorly caused by burning biomass like firewood. Low-income families are particularly affected, relying heavily on firewood and charcoal as affordable fuel sources. Economists attribute the increasing reliance on firewood to economic downturns from the COVID pandemic and high inflation rates. Rural and informal neighborhoods are heavily reliant on firewood, and economic challenges have pushed urban residents to also use firewood and charcoal. Efforts to provide affordable, clean cooking solutions are ongoing, but high prices hinder widespread adoption. A treatment commonly used in Kenya to treat snake bite victims is in high demand as the amount of cases increases. Kenya records about 4,000 deaths annually from snake bites and 7,000 cases of paralysis or other complications. Experts warn shrinking forests and erratic climate patterns are pushing snakes closer to homes. A woman in eastern Kenya experienced a severe snake bite while working on her farm, leading to an amputation due to a lack of anti-venom at local health facilities. Currently, Kenya imports anti-venom from Mexico and India, but the treatments are expensive and not always suitable for local snake species. Researchers aim to produce anti-venoms locally to make them more affordable and accessible, estimating a need for 100,000 vials annually. Community outreach for snakebite prevention and first aid training is also being provided. We have an exciting new announcement. We have launched a new global TV service specifically for the UNN community. Thousands of live TV channels, 60,000 movies on demand, over 30 languages, and live sports from around the globe. Between all the separate streaming services and cable for live TV and sports packages, it could cost well over $200 a month. But now with United TV, you can have it all for only $15.99 a month. Go to unitedtv.org and check it out. Get so much more for so much less. So Kim wasn't available at the time we recorded the news today, but she does have this message for us. So here is Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday and happy day after the solstice and full moon. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. It's been an interesting couple of days, just based on anytime there's an alignment or a change, these guys, have a tendency to go a little crazy. But I don't think it's over yet. So let's talk about some news and some false reports first that are out there. Okay, there is a heat wave. Usually lasts about 3 to 5 days, depending on where you are. And it started on the west coast of the United States, and it has been moving across through Europe. And now, I guess today it started to hit Greece, and it's going to move through the Middle East. And yes, the temperatures are probably 10 to 15 degrees higher Fahrenheit than they normally are, which is quite warm, and I understand that. However, there are people making false claims that the grid of the following countries, Montenegro, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Albania crashed, and that the deep state did it. That is absolutely false. If you know anything about this area or you've ever been to this area, then you'll know that there is, they are fairly poor countries. Bosnia and Herzegovina is obviously war-torn. They never go back and fix a lot of that stuff in particular areas there. So, it's a grid failure when it gets that hot in that type of an area. I wouldn't call it a grid failure. I just call it an overload. A lot of electricity being utilized in order to keep cool. It happens here in the U.S. It happened over in San Diego, where the power was going in and out, and that's in America. So Lord knows our infrastructure is probably better than there, but it is falling apart here in the States too. So nothing weird, nothing malicious there, no major attack. If you do not know, or if you do know, you might be concerned about this because during one of the steps of warfare in certain types of war would be that they would shut the power off. Then they shut the social media off and those types of things. So, but that is not what's happening here. That is not the case. There are also a lot of rumors going around that there's going to be an event dealing with Iran. If that money that we talked about on Wednesday came out, I'm sure there would be. But until that happens, I don't really see any of that taking place, at least not on a grand scale. Next false news. The Trump organization, Trump operatives, whatever you call them, has been putting out a fake Biden death certificate, which says that he died in 2018. Now, that is not the case. I didn't say he wasn't dead, but that didn't happen until much later. As far as the Trump organization calling Biden dead, that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black here. There's also some other interesting news that I wanted to bring forward because this is getting, I mean, I think it's getting out of hand, and it is related to the Trump organization. But there is a woman, her name is Representative Spire, that put out a report saying that she herself is a survivor of the Jim Jones cult. She had actually gone down there with a U.S. representative back in the 70s in Guyana. For those of you that don't know who Jim Jones is, Jim Jones back in the 50s, late 50s to the late 70s was a major cult leader. He built an area in Guyana, the country of Guyana, called Jonestown, and he had a lot of members of his religious cult that lived down there on the site. He is the same person who had intentionally spiked Kool-Aid with cyanide, and over 909 people died in one day. Not to say that there weren't others that died previously. But he is actually the originator of the statement, and I know I've mentioned this before, you just want to drink the Kool-Aid. In other words, you just don't want to deal with something. Or you don't believe something. Now, Spire makes a comment. Her name is spelled S-P-E-I-E-R, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry about that, but you should look her up. She was down there, like I said, had been shot 5 times, almost didn't survive. She remembers what she saw down there, remembers, seeing all those people dead. She talks quite a bit about it. And so she knows firsthand what it looked like down there. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I can't say I disagree with her, and I can't say I'm not concerned about it. She makes a mention of a fan of Trump's that has attended over 220 rallies of his, and he made a comment to, I guess, the press or somebody, and said that suicide before Biden, which means that he would commit suicide before Biden would get back into office. And I can tell you, this whole Q thing, honestly, it's looked like a cult for me for a long time. It is weird how people just are so brainwashed with this thing. And I can't help but wonder if maybe there's not something to what this lady's saying, Democrat, Republican, or whatever. But, seeing that article come out made me really think about it. And I'm like, how many people, if it was ever announced that he had passed away, God forbid that it had been going on for 3 years and you didn't tell anybody, or close to 3 years, and nobody told anybody. But I can't help but wonder if there wouldn't be some kind of a massive response like that. I do know that there are a lot of people in the Patriot community that have kind of fallen away from following that group, let's just say, and partially because people like myself and other people are telling people, look, this, makes no sense. But Jim Jones, for those of you that don't know, was a member of the CIA. So Trump also worked for the Order of the Black Sun, or was a part of the Order of the Black Sun, went through the ceremony, did the whole, bad things to young girl, and there's some blood there and all kinds of bad things. No different than the leaked Hillary Clinton ceremony with a young girl that happened a few years back on the deep web. And I gotta say, it totally looks like some kind of weird mind control cult situation that's happening there. And knowing the SSP operatives, they, above anyone else, know how to do it. So, the Wednesday's news might come in kind of handy when it comes to some of these people that have been following Trump in the near future. Should this not work out, whether they'd stage a fake election or not, I have no idea. we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But I did want to mention that just because, you got to have some sympathies for these regular people that just aren't getting it. But there's a lot of people out there that are so diehard. I was listening to a friend of mine. I was talking to this friend who's a regular friend, and knows about all of this stuff, knows what I do, that kind of thing. But I was listening to this person's husband, watch the indictments. It was like a few weeks ago. I had called her about something else, and and I was shocked. I mean, he was so angry, he was swearing and yelling and screaming, and it's like his whole life was over. It's like someone burned his car down or something. It's a little scary. It really is. But this is also a person that bought an entire garage full of toilet paper back in the toilet paper crisis of 2020. So, I guess take it all with a grain of salt. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that real quick. Okay, more news. We did receive a few phone calls after that news, and the news is coming back for people that kind of really don't believe the deep state's going to pull anything off. So they kind of leak us information here and there, and one of them is the main programmer for BRICS, and he said that any hope they ever had of launching a currency of their own died within the last 48 hours. That's not a surprise based on our conversation that we had on Wednesday and all the work that's been done in the last couple of days. Also, the NSA hanging by a string, quote unquote. In other words, they really don't have anything left really to do much. So the light system is doing its job. Some of it's automated. Some of it is, obviously in cooperation with us all day long, every day. But we are burning, and I mean burning, anything and everything that we can possibly find right now that they could possibly do anything with, or that even remotely, even 100 years ago is connected to some military somewhere, even 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, some SSP equipment in the middle of Argentina. That was earlier today. Anything we can find anywhere that remotely they could possibly even use or screw up in their case, and is just going away. I don't know at this moment either the end result of what they're planning for solstice. I can tell you that over the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of attempts to do certain things, fake servers at the Federal Reserve, normal stuff. I haven't seen, it's been more about money and control than it has been bombing and killing and wars at this point. I know that they did show a lot of fake currency from the Mariana Project, as we talked about on Wednesday, to a lot of different countries to entice them into war. And when that went away, I'm not so sure anybody's going to move anywhere at the moment. So they did try, like I said, to install a fake server earlier today at the Fed to show some fake money to try to get a fake war going. I don't see that happening. Number one, the fake currency is not going to happen. Number two, I don't know how much longer people can, pay out and pay out and pay out and work and work and work without any funds. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Now, as far as today is also a full moon and within 24 hours of the solstice. Technically not the exact times, it's a couple hours off. So, but are they going to continue through the weekend? I do believe so, and thankfully so, because we will use that to our advantage, as always. Anything else that we could find that starts sending off a signal, so that's a positive thing. But today, early this morning, my time, probably about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, the solstice is not just the longest day in the year in the northern hemisphere. It also is a time of year where the central sun of source and anti-source, well, when it was there, aligns with the 0 point of the universe. So that is the point right between the alphaverse and the omegaverse and all its respective densities and so on and so forth. It's actually a whole density that exists there. The same thing existed in computers as well. And once that started happening, it actually helped us get over the hump, I should say, of this direct current system, meaning it pushed us further faster. It'll take some time to come out from that point and come back up to us, but I know that we're seeing a lot more progress in computers, a lot faster. We're now burning from the bottom up and also the top down, which is a positive thing for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens over the next few days, because we will be there until Monday, as I understand it. So it doesn't move very fast during this time of year. So kind of excited about that. I'm also expecting to not have a quiet weekend with these people in full swing, hoping for some kind of a something from the solstice. But hey, you know, what are you going to do? A weekend's just another weekend, another couple days ending in Y, and yeah, can't expect a lot from these people. I really truly think that there's something wrong with those people. I know they're human, but I just think that they're so pre-programmed that I don't think we're going to come back from this. I think you're going to lose them all before that happens. So, haven't heard about any progress just yet on those that have come forward to make an attempt to work together. We'll see what happens with those folks. I know that they said that they were setting things up. We'll see. I haven't heard anything in the last couple of days. I didn't expect to, because a lot of people, when there's some kind of an alignment like this, they, you know, it's a kind of an all hands on deck sort of thing. Yeah, so I know today's report is a little bit short. It's a little bit late. It's a lot late. I know, if you don't know, we changed the time that we record news based on deep state activities and problems with our connections. So I record at one time, Sunny records at another time, and it just seems to be a smoother broadcast. So that's why the news has been coming out late, a little bit late, so I apologize for that. But it seems to help us and production get things done. So again, I guess if you are watching this, happy solstice, happy full moon, if that means something to you, and have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully on Monday, I'll have the end results of the solstice alignment, and we really don't play into the full moon too much, but it's more the alignment with 0 point that we're looking for and looking for that boost. So it just started probably 12 hours ago. So it's not a lot of time, but we've seen a significant amount of progress in a short period of time. So hopefully I'll have some good results for you on Monday when we talk. Other than that, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you then.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN Meme of the Day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
And that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.